What's up, Wrestling Universe? Welcome back to Wrestling-verse CC, the channel that brings you the most explosive backstage drama, the hottest rumors, and the breaking news that has the entire WWE Universe buzzing. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into what might be the most shocking revelation of the year. Before we get started, smash that like button, ring the notification bell, and subscribe because you're about to witness something that could completely change the landscape of Monday Night Raw and the entire WWE roster. Trust me, you don't want to miss a single second of this. So here's what went down, and I'm telling you right now, this is absolutely insane. Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah himself, just dropped what might be the most explosive piece of footage we've seen all year. We're talking about secret meetings, potential betrayals, and alliances that nobody saw coming. Now, I know what you're thinking, is this real? Could this actually be happening? And let me tell you, the evidence is starting to pile up, and it's looking more and more legitimate by the hour. The wrestling world is absolutely going crazy over this, and social media is exploding with theories and speculation. Picture this scene: it's late at night, probably around 11 p.m., and Seth Rollins is apparently leaving the arena after what we assume was a grueling training session or maybe some backstage meetings. Now, Seth has always been known for his strategic mind. This is the guy who's been playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers in the WWE Universe. But here's where it gets interesting. As Seth is walking through the parking garage, and this is where the leaked footage comes in, he spots something that makes him stop dead in his tracks. He pulls out his phone, starts recording, and what he captures is absolutely mind-blowing. The footage shows Becky Lynch, the man herself, meeting with none other than Finn Balor in what appears to be a completely secret, clandestine meeting. Now, on the surface, you might think, hey, they're just colleagues having a conversation, but the body language, the timing, the location, everything about this screams that something major is going down. Let me break down exactly what we see in this footage, because every single detail matters here. Becky Lynch arrives first, and she's looking around constantly, checking over her shoulder like she's making sure nobody's watching. That's not the behavior of someone having a casual conversation with a coworker, that's the behavior of someone who's up to something big. Then Finn Balor shows up, and here's what's really interesting: he's not in his usual gear. He's dressed down, almost like he's trying to blend in, trying not to be recognized. The prince himself, trying to stay under the radar. That's when you know something serious is happening. Now, I've analyzed this footage frame by frame, and let me tell you what I'm seeing. First, they're both constantly checking their phones, like they're coordinating with someone else. Second, Becky Lynch has this folder or envelope in her hand that she eventually passes to Finn. And third, and this is the kicker, they're both looking towards the entrance ramp area, pointing and gesturing like they're planning something. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Remember that Seth Rollins has had his own complicated history with both of these superstars. With Becky Lynch, we've seen their relationship evolve from allies to complicated friends to whatever they are now. And with Finn Balor, there's always been this underlying tension, this competitive spirit that goes way back to their indie days. So why would Seth leak this footage? What's his angle here? I think Seth realizes that something big is brewing, and he wants to get ahead of it. He knows that in the WWE, information is power, and by releasing this footage, he's potentially disrupting whatever plan Becky and Finn have been cooking up. Now let's talk about the implications of this secret meeting. What could Becky Lynch and Finn Balor possibly be planning together? Well, I have several theories, and each one is more explosive than the last. Theory number 1, the new alliance theory. What if Becky and Finn are forming a power couple alliance that's going to dominate both the men's and women's divisions? Think about it, Becky Lynch is arguably the most dominant female superstar in WWE history, and Finn Balor brings that international credibility and that demon persona that can strike fear into anyone. Together, they could be planning to systematically take down the current power structure. Maybe they're targeting the champions, maybe they're going after Triple H's booking decisions, or maybe they're planning something even bigger. Like a complete takeover of Monday Night Raw. Theory number 2, the betrayal setup. What if this meeting isn't about forming an alliance, but about setting up the ultimate betrayal? What if one of them is actually planning to betray the other, and this meeting is all about luring their target into a false sense of security? Think about Becky Lynch's history. She's not called the Man for nothing. She's ruthless when she needs to be, and she's proven that she'll do whatever it takes to stay on top. Could she be setting up Finn Balor for the ultimate backstab? Or flip it around, what if Finn Balor is the one orchestrating the betrayal? The prince has always been calculated, always thinking 3 steps ahead. Maybe he's using this meeting to get close to Becky, to learn her weaknesses, so he can strike when she least expects it. Theory number 3, the authority uprising. This is the theory that's got me the most excited. What if Becky Lynch and Finn Balor are planning to challenge the entire WWE authority structure? What if they're tired of being told what to do, tired of playing by someone else's rules? We've seen glimpses of this before, Becky's rebellious streak, Finn's independent spirit. What if they're planning to create their own faction, their own rules, their own way of doing things? This could be the beginning of a completely new era in WWE. But here's what's really got the wrestling world talking, the timing of this leak. This isn't happening in a vacuum. We're heading into one of the biggest pay-per-view seasons of the year, storylines are heating up, and everyone's positioning themselves for major feuds and championship opportunities. The fan reaction has been absolutely incredible. Twitter is exploding with hashtags like #BeckyFinnAlliance and #SethLeaks. Reddit wrestling communities are going absolutely crazy trying to decode every frame of this footage. And don't even get me started on the YouTube wrestling community, everyone's got their own theories and breakdowns. Now, let's talk about what this means for the current storylines. If Becky and Finn are indeed planning something together, it could completely reshape the entire landscape of Monday Night Raw. Current champions might need to watch their backs, existing alliances might crumble, and we could see some of the most unexpected feuds develop. Think about the ripple effects. If Becky Lynch is planning something with Finn Balor, what does that mean for her current storylines? What does it mean for the women's division? And on Finn's side, how does this affect his positioning in the men's division? And then there's Seth Rollins himself. By leaking this footage, he's essentially declared war on whatever Becky and Finn are planning. He's put himself right in the middle of this situation, and you know that's going to have consequences. Seth has never been one to back down from a fight, and this move proves he's ready for whatever comes next. But here's what's really interesting, the technical aspects of this leaked footage. The quality is surprisingly good for something that's supposed to be secret phone footage. The audio is clear, the video is stable, and you can see everything that's happening. Some people are questioning whether this is actually a leak or if it's part of a larger storyline. And that brings us to the ultimate question, is this real or is this part of the show? In the world of professional wrestling, the line between reality and storyline is always blurred. But the emotional reactions we're seeing, the genuine surprise from other wrestlers, the way social media is exploding, it all feels very real. Whether this is a legitimate leak or the beginning of an epic storyline, one thing is certain, this is going to change everything. The WWE Universe is on the edge of their seats, waiting to see what happens next. Will Becky and Finn address this footage? Will they deny it? Will they embrace it and reveal their master plan? And what about Seth Rollins? He's essentially thrown down the gauntlet here. By releasing this footage, he's challenged both Becky Lynch and Finn Balor. He's saying, I see what you're doing, and I'm not going to let it happen without a fight. So there you have it, Wrestling Universe. The most explosive leak of the year, featuring 3 of the biggest names in WWE, and we're probably just seeing the tip of the iceberg. This story is developing by the hour, and you know we're going to be covering every single twist and turn right here on Wrestlingverse CC. What do you think is really going on here? Are Becky Lynch and Finn Balor planning the ultimate alliance? Is this all part of Seth Rollins' master plan? Or is there something even bigger happening behind the scenes? Drop your theories in the comments below, I read every single one. Don't forget to smash that like button if this video got you hyped, subscribe for more breaking wrestling news and analysis, and hit that notification bell so you never miss when we drop the latest scoops from the wrestling world. Until next time, keep watching, keep speculating, and remember, in the world of professional wrestling, anything can happen. I'm your host, and this has been Wrestlingverse CC, where we bring you the stories that matter most. But wait, there's more. I've been doing some digging, and I've uncovered some additional details that make this whole situation even more intriguing. Let me share with you what I've discovered through my sources backstage and some careful analysis of recent WWE programming. First, let's talk about the timeline. This footage was allegedly recorded 3 nights ago, which means it happened right after Monday Night Raw. Now, if you remember that particular episode, both Becky Lynch and Finn Balor had some very interesting interactions that we might have overlooked at the time. Becky Lynch seemed unusually focused during her segment, almost like she had something else on her mind. She kept checking her phone during commercial breaks, and several eagle-eyed fans noticed she was texting someone constantly. Could she have been coordinating this very meeting? And Finn Balor? He had that mysterious promo where he talked about new beginnings and unexpected alliances. At the time, we all thought he was just building toward his next feud, but now it seems like he might have been dropping hints about this secret meeting all along. But here's where it gets really interesting. I've been analyzing their social media activity in the days leading up to this leaked footage, and the patterns are fascinating. Both Becky and Finn have been posting at unusual times, using similar hashtags, and there are even some subtle references that seem to be coded messages. For example, 3 days before this meeting, Becky posted a photo of herself with the caption, "Sometimes the best moves are made in the shadows." And Finn? He posted a workout video with the caption, "The Prince is always planning his next move." Coincidence? I think not. Now, let's dive deeper into the potential ramifications of this alliance. If Becky Lynch and Finn Balor are indeed working together, we need to look at who their potential targets might be. And boy, do they have a lot of options. In the women's division, Becky could be targeting the current champions, the rising stars, or even the entire women's roster. She's always been about proving that she's the ultimate competitor, and with Finn Balor backing her up, she could become absolutely unstoppable. But here's a wild theory. What if they're not just targeting individuals, but the entire structure of how WWE operates? What if this is about challenging the brand split, the draft system, or even the way storylines are developed? And speaking of targets, let's talk about Seth Rollins' motivation for leaking this footage. I've got a theory that's been building in my mind, and it's absolutely explosive. What if Seth isn't just randomly exposing Becky and Finn? What if he's actually part of an even bigger plan? Think about it, Seth Rollins is known for being one step ahead of everyone else. He's the architect, the master manipulator, the guy who can turn any situation to his advantage. What if leaking this footage is actually part of his own master plan? Here's theory number 4, the triple cross theory. What if Seth Rollins was actually supposed to be part of this alliance with Becky and Finn, but he decided to betray them first? What if he was in on the planning, knew about the meeting, and decided to blow it up before it could come to fruition? This would be vintage Seth Rollins, playing the long game, appearing to be loyal while actually positioning himself for the ultimate betrayal. He's done it before with the Shield, he's done it with the Authority, and he could be doing it again right now. But let's consider another angle. What if this leak is actually helping Becky and Finn's plan? What if they wanted this information to get out, and Seth is unknowingly playing right into their hands? Professional wrestling has always been about misdirection, about making your opponents think they know what you're planning while you're actually 10 steps ahead. Could Becky Lynch and Finn Balor be using Seth's ego and his need to be the smartest person in the room against him? Now, let's talk about the broader implications for the WWE Universe. If this alliance is real and it's as powerful as it seems, we could be looking at a complete shift in the power dynamics of both Monday Night Raw and potentially the entire WWE roster. Becky Lynch brings her revolutionary spirit, her ability to connect with the audience, and her proven track record of breaking down barriers. Finn Balor brings his technical excellence, his international appeal, and that demon persona that can strike fear into anyone's heart. Together, they could create a faction that's unlike anything we've seen before. Not just a typical heel or face alliance, but something that transcends traditional wrestling storytelling. They could be the voice of the performers who are tired of being told what to do, tired of playing by someone else's rules. And let's not forget about the international implications. Finn Balor has massive support from the European wrestling community, and Becky Lynch has that Irish fighting spirit that resonates with fans worldwide. An alliance between these two could create a global movement within WWE. Imagine the merchandising opportunities, the international tours, the way they could revolutionize how WWE approaches different markets around the world. This isn't just about storylines, this could be about business, about expanding WWE's global reach in ways we've never seen before. But here's what's really got me excited, the potential for this to spill over into other WWE programming. What if this alliance doesn't just affect Monday Night Raw? What if it spreads to SmackDown, to NXT, to the pay-per-view events? We could be looking at the beginning of a brand-wide storyline that affects every single show, every single superstar, every single championship. The possibilities are absolutely endless. Now, I want to address something that some of you might be thinking: is this all just speculation? Are we reading too much into what might be a simple conversation between two colleagues? And here's my answer: in the world of professional wrestling, there are no simple conversations. Every interaction, every gesture, every look has meaning. These are performers who understand the power of storytelling, who know that every moment they're in public could become part of a larger narrative. The wrestling industry has always been built on secrets, on information that's shared in whispers, on alliances that are formed in the shadows. What we're seeing here isn't just a leaked video, it's a glimpse into the real machinery of how professional wrestling operates behind the scenes. I've also been reaching out to my sources within the WWE, and while nobody's willing to go on the record, the buzz backstage is absolutely electric. People are talking, theories are flying, and everyone's trying to figure out what's really going on. One source told me that there have been unusual meetings happening at WWE headquarters, meetings that involve some of the top creative minds and some of the biggest stars on the roster. Could this leaked footage be just the beginning of something much bigger? Another source mentioned that there have been changes to upcoming storylines, rewrites happening at the last minute, and a general sense that something major is about to shake up the entire WWE landscape. The timing of this leak might not be coincidental, it might be the opening move in a much larger chess game. And let's talk about the fans. The WWE Universe has been absolutely incredible in their response to this footage. The analysis, the theories, the frame-by-frame breakdowns, you all are the real MVPs here. I've seen fan art depicting this potential alliance, I've seen fantasy booking scenarios that would make Hollywood writers jealous, and I've seen passion and excitement that reminds me why I fell in love with professional wrestling in the first place. The hashtags are trending worldwide, the wrestling forums are exploding with discussion, and even mainstream sports media is starting to pick up on this story. This isn't just wrestling news anymore, this is cultural phenomenon. So as we wrap up this deep dive into what might be the most significant leak in WWE history, I want to leave you with this thought: we're not just watching a storyline unfold, we're watching the evolution of professional wrestling itself. Whether this is a legitimate leak or the most elaborate work in wrestling history, it's changing the conversation. It's making us think differently about how stories are told, how alliances are formed, and how the business of professional wrestling operates in the modern era. The next few weeks are going to be absolutely crucial. We're going to be watching every Raw, every SmackDown, every social media post, every public appearance. We're going to be analyzing every word, every gesture, every interaction. Because this story is just beginning, and something tells me that what we've seen so far is just the tip of the iceberg. The real revelations, the real drama, the real game-changing moments are still to come. So buckle up, Wrestling Universe. We're in for the ride of our lives. Keep those theories coming, keep analyzing that footage, and keep being the incredible community that makes wrestling so special. This has been your host bringing you the most comprehensive breakdown of the biggest wrestling story of the year. Like this video if you're as hyped as I am, subscribe for more breaking news and analysis, and hit that notification bell because you know we're going to be covering every single development in this story. Until next time, keep watching, keep speculating, and remember, in the world of professional wrestling, the most incredible stories are the ones that blur the line between reality and entertainment. Peace out, Wrestling Universe. See you in the next one.